I've written an article for Conservative Home today saying we need to get ready for Plan B. And by Plan B, I mean finding a way to live with the virus. If a vaccine doesn't come, or if a vaccine isn't as effective as people hope, perhaps isn't as safe as people hope as is possible, then we will have to have a Plan B, so that because we obviously can't go on like this for much longer, interrupting people's life and their work and their businesses.
Right, so we're here at the Hospo demos, the hospitality sector, demonstrating against the lockdown measures, specifically Tier 2 in London, because obviously their business and their livelihoods at risk. But let's go and see what is actually going on. So tell us more, Richard.
Well, I think we're all here as hospitality professionals to lend our support and ask a lot of questions to the government, know that we need additional support. You know, the hospitality industry is absolutely decimated and has been since, late March. If you imagine the contribution to the economy, I think last take was £72 billion. And as an employer, hospitality contributes, it's the fourth largest employer in the country. And I think the lack of leadership and intent is harrowing, to be perfectly honest.
Has it been slightly confusing that back in July and August they begged people to essentially go back to restaurants and pubs, and now with all this tier 1, 2, 3, kind of sending mixed signals? What do you think about it?
I think mixed signals is exactly that. Nobody really knows what they're doing, and I think again the lack of leadership is astounding. I think when we're looking, we just need evidence.
Now you might wonder why everyone's wearing a mask, and obviously all this is because in order for them to actually get permission and not get bothered by the police, they had to basically comply. So they've been trying to organize the whole thing. They've got the face mask on and everything. That's why the police aren't even really around. So they're actually just doing a demonstration, and it looks okay. Right, so we're with Margot. So tell us again why you're here.
Well, we're all here looking for more support from the government. Restaurants are going down, people losing their jobs, and the restaurant trade is a great part of British culture, and it just needs much more government support.
Do you not think that it's been kind of unfair, because the hospitality sector has been one of the few areas that you guys have been very careful with the measures, it's social distancing and everything, and also they say the transition percentage is kind of small coming from restaurants and bars, but yet you're still getting damage, right?
Yeah, we need to lift the 10 o'clock curfew, would be really helpful, and also go back to having weddings of 30 people. Lots of the weddings could really, small weddings of 30, I don't see how that gets in the way, or if you've got family groups. Yep. I think we need to let the catering have a chance as well.
Right, guess who we found? We found Steve Baker. Hello. Well, I was going to say welcome, but we're all here obviously to support the hospitality sector, right?
Absolutely, yeah. The hospitality and the events sectors have got an absolutely massive problem. There's a firm in my constituency there's a huge pent-up demand for events. Clearly with hospitality, we've got the twin problems of the 10 p.m. curfew, the tier 2 coming in, and these are real people whose jobs and businesses, their life's work is at risk. So I'm keen to come out and support them. And actually the first person I said hello to is from Wickham, so pleased to come out and support them. People know I led the rebellion last week. But Number 10 need to know that we've got to get 2 covers for a restaurant. We've got to support people if we're shutting them down.
Yeah, obviously we had the rebellion, and that didn't go too well, and some people thought that you guys have just completely given up, but you're still in Parliament trying to...
Yeah, of course. So the issue last week was that if we'd voted against the 10 p.m. curfew in the tiers, we would have had to vote against the whole strategy. And I would ask people to remember that we do also represent large numbers of people who are genuinely vulnerable to the disease, which is, and it's for them, a very dangerous disease. So voting against the entire strategy was too much. So, but to get 44 members of Parliament in the Conservative Party saying, no, we're protesting this curfew, that's quite a big deal when the majority is 80. That means it's enough to overturn the majority potentially. So that was a very big statement.
What's your overall view on this tier 1, 2, 3, all this traffic light stuff?
It's a terrible nightmare for people. And I've written an article for Conservative Home today saying we need to get ready for Plan B. And by Plan B, I mean finding a way to live with the virus. If a vaccine doesn't come, or if a vaccine isn't as effective as people hope, perhaps isn't as safe as people hope as is possible, then we will have to have a Plan B, so that because we obviously can't go on like this for much longer, interrupting people's life and their work and their businesses.
Right, I'm back in the office now. Firstly, apologies for the sound quality. I think it was too loud and the microphone wasn't great. So sorry about that. But as I said earlier, it was important to obviously go and report from that rally because the mainstream media aren't really concerned about the hospitality sector speaking out. Even though the restaurants and bars and all these guys have been one of the most cautious sectors. They've been following the rules and regulations with social distancing, with face masks, 10 p.m. curfew. At the same time, they've been the easy target for the government when it comes to introducing these measures, even though only 2.4% of new cases have come from the hospitality sector. So that's unfair. Also, I did say it earlier, but some of you might wonder why they were wearing face masks. It was because they, in order for them not to get bothered by the police, they had to essentially compromise and follow the rules in that sense to get the message out. If in order for the rally to actually be out there and raise awareness, they had to do that. So that was their tactic, and it worked. And I was there because the mainstream media really don't pay attention to that sort of stuff, so we're there to report. So let's go to the question this Monday. We get questions from the members of the channel. If you're not a member, become a member. The link is in the description. Let's go to the first one. It's more of a comment. White Viper says, "Hello Maya, I don't know if you and the members feel the same, but I have a newfound pride in the country now that we've walked away from the EU. I do hope it spreads." That's the only thing I like for it to spread. Yes, so it's good news. Obviously, if you haven't seen my video just before this at 5:45, that's the latest update on the Brexit negotiations. Michel Barnier begged, he wanted to come to London to talk to David Frost and Boris Johnson. David Frost told him not to come. Boris is refusing to see you. So they had the phone call earlier, and we'll have more updates for you tomorrow. So the way things are going, we're either going to have a Canada-style trade deal or an Australian-style WTO Brexit, essentially. Next is A Swift saying we should ditch the withdrawal agreement. I think we should. That's a question. Yes, so I have heard comments like this a lot recently. A lot of them are justified. People are saying that if the European Union are going to be breaking their own obligations when it comes to this international treaty, they have already essentially broken it, so it's not really legitimate anymore. In that case, we should completely ignore it. That's the whole point of the internal market bill. I wish you could go further. I wish we could just completely avoid it. Most of the important aspects of this divorce bill, the withdrawal agreement, can be completely ignored if there is no deal. That's fine. Especially if we could sort out the Northern Ireland Protocol and the border. But the rest of it, I agree. We should just get rid of it if there's no deal. Lynn says, "Hi Maya, are there rules in Scotland as the same as England in regard to recall positions for the MPs so that Margaret Ferrier can be unseated by her constituents?" Yes, because obviously, as you guys remember, Margaret kicked off with Dominic Cummings for travelling, but she has been doing a lot worse. Yes, the rules are the same. And obviously, parties and party leaders can't really kick out MPs. They can kick them out of the party, withdraw the whip, but the MP has to resign themselves, or if there's a recall, it's the same rule because she's an MP in Westminster.
She's not in the Scottish Parliament. Tracy says, hello Maya, I hope you're keeping well. When we are free to gather again, I think we should there should be a people's conference. Speakers such as yourself, Julia Hartley-Brewer, Mike Graham, Douglas Murray, Andrea Walker, Helen Dale, Esther Krakow, Darren Grimes, Patrick Christie, there's a lot of names, obviously, Olivia, Alex and everyone. I do have some good news, I can't say it yet, but there is something in the pipeline, hopefully for early 2021. Something big is coming from this YouTube channel, organizing something huge with a number of people. Some of them are actually on that list. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. You'll find out more about our upcoming nationwide tour. Yeah, find out soon. John Craig says, so hi Maya. So now that Macron is threatening an energy blockade of the UK unless we back off on fisheries, according to obviously RT, this is a serious threat. Yeah, so Macron has been kicking up again. I didn't talk about this in the previous video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it after this. Don't forget. It's all about the fact that he thinks it's an eye for an eye situation. You have to give free access, full access to UK waters for the French fishermen. Otherwise, I'm going to destroy your energy sector. It doesn't really understand the fact that if you hit our energy sector, energy companies, the European consumers will be hit at the same time. So, not sure he did think that through. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just a bluff. He's losing his mind. The guy is very impatient. This is the same man who, when he was in the Hollande's government, he wasn't really diplomatic either. His guy's strength, but his flaws are very, very visible. We'll have to wait and see how he reacts. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to support the channel by becoming a member. Subscribe to the channel. I do have a big announcement. Actually, that reminds me before I go. I'm bringing back the daily vlogs. Some of you might remember during the lockdown I was doing daily vlogging and everything. And then recently we decided to do a weekly vlog. It's probably best to bring the daily vlogs, but because that's going to be the behind the scenes and everything else we do, we're going to talk about a lot of things. No censorship, no ads, but you have to be a member. So this will be obviously for the members of the channel. So check out the link in the description, or just go on youtube.com/mighty/join, because I noticed that obviously the members of the channel, you guys get a number of things. You got the weekly Q&As, the weekly video vlogs are coming back as well, and a couple of other things, but I thought I'll give you guys more because you guys are obviously supporting the channel properly. Don't worry, everybody else, the daily videos will continue free for everyone as usual. Nothing is changing, nothing has changed. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.